What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another podcast video. This is the Next Man Up Podcast. I'm Hero,
I'm Jay.
and we are back with another episode. This is us grading the first round. Well, not first round. Each team's NFL draft. So let's get into it. First, we're gonna start off with the Arizona Cardinals. Obviously, we know they took Jeremiah Love with their first round pick. Honestly, I think their whole overall draft, I give it like a C minus because that was kind of trashy, and they kind of like just took every player that was best off the board. I think after the second round, I kind of threw darts at who they wanted to pick. So,
Yeah, I feel like they didn't have like a specific like game plan going into it. Um, I think I agree with Hero here. I think they just kind of took the best available and just kind of went with it throughout the whole draft.
the next team we have up, the Atlanta Falcons. They did not have a first round pick actually, I believe. Yeah, they didn't. But they did take Avion Terrell. I think he's one of the better corners, but better slot corner. But he gets to play with his brother in Atlanta. Probably one of the best, gonna be one of the best duos, especially that they're brothers. They took Zachariah Branch in the third round. I think that's a sleeper pick right there, personally for me. But I give their draft like an A minus.
Yeah, I like Zachariah Branch coming into their system. They obviously need receivers, so I like that pick. And then Terrell being with his brother now, I think that will benefit their defense a lot. And I think going forward, they could be a really good duo.
All right, moving on to our next team. We got Baltimore. Honestly, they had a pretty good draft. I think their first round pick with the guard from Penn State. It was kind of for me like unexpected. I didn't know about this guy, but they did need that. They did they did need like a good O lineman because they did lose a lot of guys in free agency. But I think for me, one of their best picks was Jacoby Lane out of USC in their third round. But I give their draft overall like a B.
Yeah, I'd probably give them a B also. I think their second round pick in Zion Young was a good selection for them, obviously, with the Lions trading up to get a edge rusher ourselves. I think it was a good move for them to get an edge rusher also, going with Trey Hendrickson. So hopefully they're a good pair there.
Yeah. Our next team up, fourth team, the 32, with the Bills. They did not have a first round. I think didn't they trade out?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think they did have one.
Yeah, I believe they traded out, but they had a pretty good, a little bit of an underrated draft. Took T.J. Parker in the second round. I think that was a good pick. Honestly, I wanted the Lions to get him, but T.J. Parker out of Clemson. I think really good pick they had. Another wide receiver, Skylar Bell out of UConn. That guy is a good player, but I give the Bills just like a B minus.
Yeah, I don't really think there's anybody that stands out from their drafts, but obviously T.J. Parker, a pretty good edge rusher, I'd say. A corner that's underrated probably was their second round pick also in Davison. I'm not going to pronounce that last name, but yeah, I think that was a pretty good second round pick. But yeah, overall, I mean, probably not horrible, but just nobody that stands out.
All right, our next team we got Carolina. I think Carolina probably had the best draft. Obviously, taking Monroe Freeling, the tackle out of Georgia. Yeah. So to me, they get an A plus. Everybody else, a good pick. Lee Hunter out of Texas Tech. Even though they were in the playoffs and didn't do much, the whole regular season he was pretty good. I like this year's wide receiver class was pretty good to me. I like Chris Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, I like their draft class also. Obviously, filling in a hole in their offensive line to get Monroe Freeling. to help Bryce Young, hopefully protect him. But yeah, I think overall they filled holes that they needed, and yeah, I give them like a B plus. I think obviously it's hard to like say an offensive tackle is like a standout, but it filled what they needed. So
All right, our next team, the Bears. Honestly, I think the Bears did pretty well in their draft, taking a safety out of Oregon, Dylan Thieneman. He's pretty good, I'd say, out of Oregon. He was their supposedly Cooper DeJean. But I think one of the better picks they had was Malik Monk out of Texas, the corner, falling all the way in the fourth round, which kind of like shocked me personally. But I mean, Malik Muhammad, not Malik Monk.
yeah,
My bad. That's a basketball player.
yeah, I was about to say.
But Malik Muhammad out of Texas. But
Yeah.
that was a good pick for them. I'm not gonna lie. So I think, but the Bears they give them a C plus. C plus. It was okay. It was all right.
Yeah, I think where they were at, I think their best option was the safety from Oregon. But yeah, I think obviously with Jonathan Owens going to Indianapolis, I think it fills a hole there for them. Um, so yeah, I think they just, with a lot of teams, I mean, they filled a lot of holes. So I think they didn't have a bad draft, but obviously nothing that's crazy either from the Bears.
All right, go a little quicker now. But I got the Cincinnati. I personally, I don't know a single person that who Cincinnati drafted. Um, so to me, I think it's kind of more. I give them a C, but Cincinnati they came in, but they did trade away their first round pick for Dexter Lawrence. So they did something. But Jack.
Yeah, I don't personally know a lot of these guys either, but yeah, I like their move in trading their. I believe it was what the 10th pick in the draft or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for Dexter Lawrence, I feel like he's gonna obviously be a good defensive addition, but hopefully, obviously they got in their second round they got an edge rusher, so you can see where they're going, trying to make the defense not terrible like they were last year. But yeah, so we'll see what happens.
All right, next team up, we got the Browns. I think the Browns probably had the best draft. Not gonna lie, even though I did say that about the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
But Browns did come in. They got what they needed. They did take Spencer Fano, the tackle out of Utah. I thought they were gonna take Miami's Francis Ialagonga, whatever his name is, out of Miami, but Spencer goes first, and then they fill in that hole with two wide receivers back to back with Casey Casasion. That guy's great, but he's more like a slot receiver. I see him being their special teams need guy. But Denzel Boston is a great guy. Great pick. And I also like Justin Jefferson out of Alabama. Great name.
Yeah, I mean, if he's Justin Jefferson, then
Think
they just got to steal. But
imagine Justin Jefferson's guarding Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, but yeah, I think their first round was really good. Obviously, getting a receiver, which they need to hopefully help Shadura. I mean, hopefully it's Shadura. If they go with Deshaun Watson, that's kind of interesting. But yeah, with their offensive tackle, I think that will help benefit whoever is their quarterback too. And so, yeah, I think they had a solid draft.
Yeah, one guy I don't know why they drafted another quarterback with Taylor Green. But Cowboys didn't do much with. They didn't have that many picks. They did take Caleb Downs with their first overall pick. That was probably the steal of the draft, falling out of the top 10. But personally, me, a guy that I did like, they picked Jashawn Barham from Michigan. I do see him being like probably the next Fred Warner. Personally, me. But what can I say? I don't know. But I give them like a. Oh, I didn't even grade Cleveland. Did I?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think I graded Cleveland. Cleveland, I give them a. I'll give them a regular A. And then I'll give Dallas a B plus.
Yeah, I think the Caleb Downs pick really saved them. I think he was obviously a top option for a lot of teams, but some teams passed on him. Obviously, some division teams also um, got unlucky with Dallas taking them. But yeah, I think he'll be a good player for Dallas for sure. I like their edge rusher picks with they're also the 23rd pick and then their third round pick, both going edge rushers. I think that will be good because they lost some pieces in trades. So I think those guys will benefit there. So I'll give them a B. I think it's a solid draft.
Being a winner is a curse. It doesn't matter how much you've won before. You're not a winner until you win again.
Let's go.
And again and again. Nothing is enough. No one understands. And you never want it to stop.
All right, we're back from the commercial. Um, Denver. I didn't know anybody that Denver picked besides Red Murdoch, linebacker out of Buffalo. Probably one of the best picks. Mr. Irrelevant. I give them a C plus.
Yeah, I give them a C minus also. I think they obviously filled some holes on defense, but
Also.
yeah, because it's nobody that really stands out. I mean, their first pick was in the third round, so it's
Right.
nobody crazy. But yeah, they filled some positional needs. But yeah, C minus for them.
All right, now our team, Detroit. Obviously, we took Blake Miller in the first round. We got who we needed. Filled a lot of holes. The one pick that I didn't like is taking Kendrick Law, even though we did replace Khalif Raymond. I don't like taking that pick. Could have gotten a linebacker. We could have got two linebackers. Could have got another safety at depth. But overall, I give us, not to be biased, but I give us a B.
Yeah, I think it's probably a C plus or a B. I like the offensive tackle pick. Um, Obviously filling in one of our last needs on the O line, but um, obviously getting another edge rusher to complement Hutchinson is obviously a need for us. But yeah, getting some good defensive help. Obviously, I like Keith Abney. He was a good pick in the fifth round at corner.
Yeah, fell all the way.
Yeah, so I think I give us a C plus or a B minus. I think that's
Pretty fair.
yeah.
Next team we got Green Bay. To be honest with me, I don't know any of the guys they drafted. So the grade I will give Green Bay is a C.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. Also, I think with them not having a pick in the first round either, their second round pick was a corner. They obviously needed that because they lost Jair a year ago. So yeah, but bro, did you see that MVP season? It was good, but yeah.
I'll tell Hoppenau about that. The Texans are our next team up. Honestly, I know like a couple guys on this who they drafted, like one or two, but the Texans, I believe, they had a okay draft. They did get a steal in the second round with Caden McDonald, the D tackle out of Ohio State. Now that defense is even more elite with him on the line, and I think that's only the one pick that I really liked. One pick I didn't like is them taking Marlon Klein out of Michigan in the second round. It's kind of a reach, but I'll give them I'll give them a B minus just because of Caden McDonald.
Yeah, I think that was. I think he was like a projected late first round pick, but yeah, I like who they got here. Obviously, their defense is really good already, but just adding to it and then getting getting a guard for C.J. Stroud. Obviously, that will benefit him.
They really need that.
Yeah, and he gets more protection, so yeah, it should benefit their offense, which they needed.
All right, next team we got Indiana. Obviously, the Indianapolis Colts. They did not have a first round pick, but I think they did do pretty well in their draft. taking CJ Allen was their first pick. Shout out to our guy from. It's been a while.
No, but
From Northern Iowa.
bro.
What's his name again?
Northern Iowa. What?
What was his name again? Hey, but shout out to him though. Being from the CJ Allen, but CJ Allen, great pick. I think another guy for me was them taking Deion Burks out of Oklahoma. Obviously, you lose. Didn't they lose Josh Downs in free agency? I believe so.
Yeah.
They did lose Josh Allen, so that's one guy that you could look out for that they replaced. So I think I see Deion Burks making the team, but I give their overall not having a first round pick, I give them a B. Personally.
Yeah, I think who really saved their draft was C.J. Allen. Obviously, he a great pick. Honestly, he could have been a first rounder easily. But yeah, I think it was a really good draft for the Colts with not having a first round pick. Filled in needs. But yeah, let's move on. Who do we got next?
All right, we got the Jags. Jags just completely killed their draft. Absolutely nobody that they just kind of. But I think for the Jags, me personally, they were just throwing darts at the board, seeing who was up there. And honestly, why are you taking a tight end with your first pick when it just doesn't make sense? I give it a D. But honestly, I give it a D.
Yeah, I'd give it a C- or a D too. I don't think. Obviously, nobody stands out here, but yeah, a tight end
bad
with the first pick. I mean,
it's just terrible.
I guess it probably was a need for them, but at the same time, I feel like they probably could have got a position player that actually benefited them a little more. But yeah,
their draft was just terrible. The Kansas City Chiefs, I think they had probably one of the better drafts.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, taking Mansour Delane was their first, trading up for that pick actually, and then taking Peter Woods as well. Peter Woods was one of those guys that was going head to head with Caden McDonald for that late round pick. And then also they took Garrett Newsomer.
Yeah,
or Newsomer, however people say it.
Yeah.
But him going one of the in the last round, taking a chance with him. But
yeah.
I honestly give them a B minus, to be honest, because I don't really trust Mansour Delane like that.
Yeah, same here. I think they were just filling a positional need with him. Obviously, getting rid of McDuffie, I feel like that will benefit their team, hopefully. And then getting a defensive tackle to go with Jones. So, we'll see.
All right, next team up, got the Chargers. Of course, they took Akeem Mesidor with their first pick. I think that was probably one of the better picks, especially that he was opposite of Ruben Bain. But everybody else didn't really know, besides Akeem Mesidor. But Chargers, I'll give them a C minus. They had a pretty good draft outside. They had a okay draft. Probably their best pick was their first round pick.
Yeah, I like getting, honestly, I mean, I don't know if the center's great, but Jake Slaughter from Florida, I like him being under center if he does hopefully get under center for Herbert, going with Alt and all those other guys on the line. And then Mesidor, obviously, he was a beast in the college football playoffs, so we'll see how that translates.
All right. Then we got the Rams. Damn, the Rams only had 5 picks, but I think they did pretty well with their draft, honestly. Taking Ty Simpson, and obviously if you saw what Sean McVay said about him, he said, "I'm gonna go celebrate." Yeah, no, I'm just playing. But pretty good draft. I think another rated guy, C.J. Daniels. He had that one-handed catch against Notre Dame at the beginning of the year. But I'll give their draft C minus because I don't really trust Ty Simpson either like that, even though he is under the MVP Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really think this draft was great. With Ty Simpson, I feel like there's quarterbacks next year you could potentially take.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd give it a C minus. I don't think it was a great draft.
All right, Then we got the guys that had the first pick of the whole draft. We had the Raiders. They took Fernando Mendoza. Of course, we already knew he was going. But a steal they had was Jermon McCoy falling all the way to the 4th round. Nobody took a chance on him. But I think one pick they took was Mike Washington Jr. out of Arkansas. It gets I think that was one of the better picks. It gives Ashton Genty a little break off the field when they don't need him on, and they can just put Mike Washington on. But I give them an A+. I think they had the best. I think they had the best draft out of the whole league.
Yeah, I'd probably give them an A. I think, obviously Mendoza was going to be the #1 pick, pretty much guaranteed. I think he'll fit right in with their offense. But yeah, I like Jermon McCoy for sure. I think if, from a Lions fan perspective, if we could have got him there, I would have taken him. But yeah, it was a really good pick by them.
All right, next team up, we got Miami. We have a couple teams left. Taking Caden Proctor. That was all right. Chris Johnson as well. But I think their best pick was Jacob Rodriguez. They had a better draft than most people thought. I give them a A-.
Yeah, I give them an A too. I think their offensive tackle pick was really good. Proctor, I personally wanted him, but yeah, Rodriguez, I feel like is really good. And yeah, they just had a lot of picks. They had a solid draft for sure.
Minnesota. I don't think they did as well as I was thinking. They took Caleb Banks. Injuries got to him in college, but honestly, for me, it's gonna be a C, because I don't know about Caleb Banks being a good pick, to be honest, for me.
Yeah, nobody that really stands out either. I think he'll be solid, but he won't be anything crazy.
Who the hell? This guy went to Charles Stephen F. Austin.
Yeah.
What God is that? All right, next team we got New England. They did take Caleb Lomu. He was pretty good.
Yeah.
He's pretty good out of Utah. There's 2 Utah tackles that are pretty good, and then Gabe Jacquez from Illinois. I think he's pretty good.
Yeah.
I give him like a person. A B-. B- from me.
Yeah, I agree. I think probably a B or B- is right where they should be. I didn't think they had a bad draft necessarily, but I didn't think they had an amazing draft.
Our next team, New Orleans. They took Jordan Tyson. Luckily, they should have had Carnell Tate. I think one of the better picks was Lorenzo Styles, Sonny Styles' brother. But I'll give them a B- because Jordan Tyson, I don't know about him, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know personally too much, but I think Tyson was a good pick there for them. Hopefully he turns out to be good, obviously with Chris Olave, but yeah, I'd give them a B also here. Not bad, but I think could have been a little better.
All right, the Giants probably had one of the best drafts too, because they did take Arvell Reese, the most athletic guy in the draft, and then the tackle out of Miami. But I think one guy that I liked from them was Malachi Field out of Notre Dame. Big guy for Jackson Dart to throw to. But Giants, I give them an A, because of how they did draft. It was pretty well. They filled a lot of holes for them, I'd say.
Yeah, I think I'd give them an A also, obviously with 2 first-round picks, taking key guys for their team. Then yeah, corner is also really beneficial. Also getting another receiver. But yeah, I'd give them an A here.
All right, a couple more teams left. Got the Jets. They did what they had to do with their I say their first 4 picks. There's gonna probably the first 5 could be starters. With David Bailey's gonna start. Kenyon Sadiq is most definitely gonna start. Omar Cooper is definitely gonna start. D'Angelo Pond's gonna start for sure. Darnell Jackson. I don't know about him. Or not Darnell. Darrell Jackson. I don't know. But I had a good draft. I give him an A.
Yeah, I give him an A too. Obviously, having 3 first-round picks is nice. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I think they had a really good draft, so I give him an A.
Alright. The Philly. with Philly, we got taking Makai Lemon. Makai fell all the way to the draft.
Yeah.
I think that's the only guy I kind of know besides the guy from Nigeria as well that they took a chance on. Probably one of the most athletic guys in the draft as well.
Yeah, I think they had.
I'm not finished.
I would give them a B minus.
Yeah, I think they had a solid draft too. I'd give them like a B. I think that's probably pretty good.
All right, Pittsburgh. Not that good of a draft, to be honest.
Fuel your grind with Gatorade's proven formula and the right blend of electrolytes to help you on your journey to greatness.
All right, sorry about that. A commercial break. We got Pittsburgh. I'm not gonna really go over the people they drafted besides Drew Aller, probably the best ones. But I give it a B minus.
Yeah, I like their wide receiver pick and Bernard, but yeah, I'd give him a B minus also. Hopefully Drew Aller comes back and is decent for them.
All right, we got the Seahawks. They did fill in the needs they needed, so I'd give them a B.
Yeah, I'd probably give him a C plus or a B too. I think their running back choice was decent.
Yeah, I actually changed mine to C plus. Actually, I don't know. Price might be okay. 49ers just killed their draft, to be honest. I'll give them a D minus.
Yeah, I don't really think they took anybody that was really beneficial for them. I'd give them a D minus also.
Tampa Bay. Oh my God. Tampa Bay, I give them an A. They had a good draft. I'm only giving them an A because of Ruben Bain falling all the way to 15 for them.
Yeah, I really wanted Ruben Bain myself, but yeah, I think they had a really good draft with Ruben Bain. I give them a B. I think Bain carried their draft personally, but yeah.
I'm giving them an A just because of Ruben Bain. All right, Tennessee Titans. I think they had probably one of the better drafts as well. Most likely 3 starters out of their 3 first picks, personally.
Yeah, I give them a B plus. I think they had a good receiver pick and a good edge rusher. So yeah.
All right, last team, Washington. Obviously, they took Sony Styles their first pick. I give them a C minus because all the other teams were not as good. All the other players were not as good.
Yeah, I think they probably deserve a B or B minus probably. I think they had a good linebacker pick, but other than that, obviously Matt Golbin, Michigan State, that's like it's where it's at. But
No, it's not. No, it's not.
but yeah, like
Stop
I
lying
think
to
B or B minus is good for them.
All right, guys. Well, that was the end for our grades for each team. It took a little while, but we're low-key just yapping. But this was the Next Man Up podcast. This is Jack and I. You will see us again. Episode 24 or 23, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'll see us again. We'll be covering the NBA first round. They just ended yesterday, and then second round starts today. But thanks for watching. This is the Next Man Up podcast. We out.